Happy National Lighthouse Day to all of us.
This historic lighthouse was erected in 1868 to warn ships of the dangerous shoals that lie off the east central coast of Florida. Situated amidst America's premier gateway to space, the lighthouse is owned by the United States Space Force and maintained as an active aid to navigation by the United States Coast Guard. Join us as we celebrate National Lighthouse Day with a tour of the Cape Canaveral Lighthouse. Observed annually on August 7th, National Lighthouse Day honors the beacon of light that for hundreds of years symbolized safety and security for ships and boats at sea. While we were pretty excited to visit the lighthouse, witnessing a Falcon 9 rocket booster roll by in front of us on our way to the lighthouse was amazing.
Oh, yeah, there goes Stuart.
Falcon 9, oh wow. You can read the chart on the chart marks.
Falcon 9. Let's burn out. Oh, cool. Oh my goodness.
Oh, where are you going? Behind there?
You better drive. I'm recording.
We are going to the Canaveral Lighthouse. There's our parking permit, so it makes us legal to be on this military installation. This lighthouse is the only lighthouse that is operational and owned by the Space Force. Oh, and we're turning.
Welcome again. Now I just want to remind everybody of our safety tips, the height level to climb and the shoe restrictions to do that as well. We want to make sure that everybody gets to their destination nice and safe.
24 feet at the base. Up in Watchroom is 10 feet. It gets crowded.
While we have visited a few of Florida's lighthouses, high on my list of still yet to visit was Cape Canaveral Lighthouse. Tours for this lighthouse are a bit more challenging since it is located on an active military installation. Members of the public can only visit by taking a tour with canaverallight.org. The tour must be booked at least 2 days prior in order to process a security clearance through Space Force Security. The 151-foot lighthouse tower was first erected and lit in 1868. It was later disassembled and relocated further inland between 1893 and 1894. The lighthouse was moved for fear that beach erosion would threaten the lighthouse. The lighthouse was uniquely designed to be protected from water submersion up to as high as the third floor. In fact, the doors that we entered were only added in 1931 when the lighthouse switched from kerosene to electric generator for lighting. As we make our way up to the second floor, this floor was originally designed to house the lightkeeper and his family. It includes a kitchen and master bedroom. The ambient heat inside the lighthouse made living inside unbearable, especially in the hot, humid summer months. A new building was constructed in 1848 for the lighthouse personnel. The quarters within the lighthouse would only be used during storms or as temporary quarters when needed. Some of those as-needed situations were in 1913 when 6 survivors from the explosion and fire of the yacht Huntress were brought to the station. In 1920, the lighthouse keeper supplied food and shelter to 2 occupants from a disabled hydroplane. And in 1921, the lighthouse keeper furnished shelter for the captain and 17 crew members of the lumber-laden British steamship Albert Soper, which wrecked 5 miles from the station. On the window pane to the main bedroom, you can see some of the lighthouse keepers' names etched into the glass. On up to the third floor, this floor was originally the only access to get inside the lighthouse. It originally was intended to be the lighthouse keeper's living room. In 1933, radio and weather equipment were installed on this floor to aid mariners by supporting a radio beacon which told ships which lighthouse it was, which aided in the successful navigation offshore. On the 4th floor, this floor was intended to be used for extra bedrooms and storage. Both rooms included a small closet each. These rooms are quite small compared to the bedrooms that you would see today. Could you imagine having one of these rooms as yours? I'm not sure where I'd put all my stuff. The 5th floor was the highest floor we were allowed to climb. At this height, we are only 1/4 of the way up to the top. The 5th floor was used as storage and provided access to the lighting mechanism above. Currently, to climb any higher, you would need special permission from the Space Force, which, from what I understand, is very difficult to obtain. Through an elaborate system of winches and trapdoors, the keeper could easily hoist up supplies to the 6th floor. After that, he would have to hand carry the oil transfer cans and other supplies up the remaining floors by the way of the narrowing staircase and ladders. This is part of the pulley system used to lift supplies from the ground floor up to the 3rd floor, since originally there was no access doors on the ground floor. These gutters were specifically designed to aid in the collection of rainwater, which was used for drinking and cleaning. The small brick building located in front of the lighthouse functioned as the oil house. The oil house stored kerosene, which was brought to the station by boat every 6 months. Only small amounts of kerosene were brought into the lighthouse at a time to fuel the lighting of the Fresnel lens. The remaining fuel was held conveniently close in the oil house. In 1931, the oil house was converted to accommodate diesel fuel tanks for its newly installed generators, which would now power the lighthouse. Commercial electricity was brought to the site in the 1950s, which led to the removal of the tanks and the generator. The keeper's quarters, originally built in 1848, was home to the lighthouse keeper and his family until the lighthouse was automated in 1967. Later that year, the original building was demolished due to deterioration. In 2019, the Cape Canaveral Lighthouse Foundation built a replica of the keeper's quarters using the original blueprints. It is currently being used as a museum to help tell the story of the life of a lighthouse keeper and the history of the lighthouse. They hope to eventually build a replica of the assistant keeper quarters sometime in the future. Thank you all for joining us on this adventure. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Hit that bell notification to get a reminder of future videos. A special thanks to our channel members. If you'd like to further support the channel, become a member and get an awesome little dolphin beside your name to show off your support.